But I will say that what's different now with Ronin being in play is the ability to buy, try, and then sell if you're not interested. That had a nice ring to it. Buy, try, sell, or buy, try, hold, because it's an amazing game. What's going on, Axie fam? Elijah here, back with another video, and today we have one that I feel like has been highly requested. I get a lot of people in the comments or on live stream asking if it's a good time to get into Axie Infinity, especially now that Ronin has happened. So I want to cover that a little bit, look at some of the builds that are out there, try to think about where they're at in terms of Ethereum costs now versus, let's say, a couple weeks ago, and do my best to help guide anybody who might be interested in getting into Axie Infinity. Before all that, of course, this is not financial advice. Don't invest more than you're willing to lose. But I want to start off by saying that my initial gut feeling here in terms of Ronin is that the prices will continue to drop. I think breeding is going to explode. It's just going to be a matter of a larger supply and probably not like a huge increase in demand, at least right now. So breeders are almost going to be forced into listing for a little bit lower as Axies get picked up. Now, I could totally be wrong on that, and maybe you get in now and prices somehow go the other way and keep going up. But regardless of that, I think that if you've been extremely interested in playing this game, I think it's overall a good opportunity to buy some solid Axies and try it out. Because the thing is, if you try this game now and you end up loving it, you're going to be earning SLP to recoup some of your investment. I mean, you might enter an entirely new, amazing world, which is what happened to me. I joined a guild, I'm building a business, I'm on YouTube, I strive to be a top player, all these things because I joined Axie Infinity. It's a massive part of my life right now. So let's get into the nitty gritty here. I want to look at some builds. Now, Terminator builds a few weeks ago, I think at the peak of the Ethereum cost, was going for like 0.3 Ethereum, maybe a little bit more. So as we can see, prices have dropped if you're looking at it from an Ethereum standpoint. Terminators here, which we know is a very strong build right now, is 0.149 Ethereum, almost $500. So one of the themes I'll be pointing out is I think that what was considered like premium builds not that long ago, the prices of those have definitely come down. I have another example here in these birds. Now this definitely was costing 0.3, 0.4 Ethereum not that long ago, and it's 0.118, $388. Back when the Ethereum cost was higher, I do think these were even more expensive on the dollar amount. I think it was probably over $400 to get one, and you can see that it has dropped slightly. Currently, you can get a very strong, solid plant up front for $270 or 0.08 Ethereum. This is significantly lower at an ETH cost level. These were over 0.2 Ethereum. High damage beast, 0.1 Ethereum, $300 for a sick moveset that's going to thrash through tanks. Double nut, dual blade, jaguar, double nut rimp beasts are right below that. So you're finding some unique, more expensive and rare builds becoming a little more regular to be seen around floor cost, and I think that's pretty cool. If we look at the aquas, these have come down as well. They were definitely going for more than 0.09 Ethereum for something like Nemo or Randa, a very high damage quality pure aqua. And then if we go back to some of the more niche builds like the discard bug, which is what I use in my primary team, these are going for 0.095 Ethereum. I want to pull up the video I did recently on breeding. This was actually before Ronin. Now this might be a little blurry, but I shot this on April 14th, so about 3 weeks ago, and the floor for a discard bug was 0.18 Ethereum, which it looks like was $392. So higher cost in Ethereum and even lower cost in the dollar amount now as well by almost $100. So now you can get one of these for 0.095 Ethereum, $315. And I'm showcasing this just to reiterate that yes, floor prices have dropped across the board. I feel like the only one we haven't really covered yet are the reptiles, and they seem to be lagging a little bit. I'm not finding a lot of really nice picks here, although there's still some decent finds like this Trispikes reptile for 0.107. It's pretty solid. You could run this with a beast or a bug in the back. Ideally, you'd want to have a bird or an aqua part with this, but that's just going to cost you a lot right now since those are just very low supply and price of Ethereum is so high. But as a beginner coming into this game, you can get something really solid for not too much ETH, but it still might be a little out of your budget from a fiat perspective. All that being said, if you're ready to jump into the action, you're probably wondering what the heck you should buy. So I'm going to rattle off a few suggestions. Well, for one, it's hard for me not to recommend the build that I currently run, and that is Tri-Spikes Reptile, discard bug in the back, and a yam tank up front. That combination is going to look something like this. Now, this bug is exactly the one that you want, all right? Now, there's a lot of them out there. As I mentioned, they're going for under 1/10 of an Ethereum. It's a discard bug. It limits your opponent's options. It's very durable in the late game and really well-rounded against a lot of different builds. For your tank, you're going to want yam, leaf bug, Sirius, and pumpkin. Super solid, durable. You'll get the yam poison charges off, which is really going to help you in that 1v1 with your bug, where you can spam quite a few cards. You have a 0 cost on your bug, so the damage will keep ticking away. The leaf bug really helps you stay on top of your energy, especially because you don't have a way of gaining it on your other 2 Axies. And then the pumpkin Sirius combo is like one of the most classic in the game, where you can steal energy early and try to get a step ahead of your opponent. As I mentioned, the Tri-Spikes reps are a little limited right now, but this was the best I could find for 0.1 Ethereum. And you just have the backdoor option with Tri-Spikes stun as well. Tons of shield for durability in the mid game. So this would be my pick for the rep. So that's the bug, yam, reptile, which would be my first suggestion. I almost don't want to suggest this because I don't want to have to face it anymore in Arena. When I made the first video on this build with Indez, which by the way, I'll leave a link in the description for that, there's people picking it up and a couple guys really got far. I mean, I think a player Happy Size made top 20 in his first season with the build. So, you know, I'm sitting there having to battle it and just not happy about it. Bug 1v1s are really tough, but I want to do you guys justice and recommend what I really think's good, and this is definitely a solid build. One last thing about that, I did mention that the ideal is to have an aqua part. I will kind of shamelessly plug that I'm selling a Tri-Spikes Reptile with a beast part, which is still really cool because this can help you shred through plants up front. The beast damage is going to be huge, 150 damage versus the plants, so it brings that versatility that you get from an aqua or bird part. Aqua bird parts, I'd say, can snipe a little bit better than mid and backline, but this can still get it done. This will do really well against double yam builds as well, as you're just going to need more firepower, and beast cards are really helpful in chopping through those massive tanks. So I have it listed for 0.14. It's out there if you guys are interested. If you want to go the classic beast bird plant route, which a lot of new players like to do because it's a little bit of an easier learning curve, I would probably recommend this beast here, just super high damage. Put him in the middle, chew through the tanks up front. I mean, this bird I selected that I said was going for 0.3, 0.4 not that long ago is just the very clear choice in my opinion. Post fight is a super sick ability. It's a 0 cost, does 140 damage. Yeah, you get injured a little, but bird HP doesn't matter all that much late game because you're usually the one going first and you're trying to close it out in one round. You can transfer this aroma spell onto your opponent, which means you can backdoor things like reptiles if they happen to be the fastest of the opponent's Axies, play Egg Bomb post-fight, blackmail, and then follow up with a beast card to get the kill. It's very, very sick. And then the plant, again, classic. Go for the damage this time, though, with Cactus and Carrot. You get some energy back with Carrot. You have high durability. I think my third suggestion for a beginner team would be a double Aqua build, but the one problem with doing that right now is that they are still being worked out in terms of affordability. I think they haven't really been listed that much compared to the other builds, so people are still putting them at a very high price. The ideal build here is going to be an Aqua with Koi on the backline or something like this, which I will say is not a bad price. 0.09, super good damage. You even have Babylonia to brick wall in a 1v1 and perhaps outlast opponent's Aqua with high shield. And then the Koi allows you to go before birds, because when you play this, you gain speed and you get to be the first one to act in a 1v1, which is huge versus birds. Koi is less of an issue. The problem here are the sponge midliners, which is what we want. Now, I would never recommend here one with teal shell and sponge. That's a no-no. You want high damage and one high shield card, which I think is preferably the sponge. Now, this is, again, 0.3 Ethereum. It's over $1,000. That's just so high. But I think that as Ronin develops, these will get listed for much lower pricing. And if you want the double Aqua build, you might need to wait a little longer for that to go with this variant that I'm talking about. All right, so in closing, I would say this. If you were already holding Ethereum and kind of living in the world of your assets being in Ethereum, clearly the ETH price has dropped all across the board. And I would say it's a pretty good time to buy. Now, if you're looking at it from a dollar perspective, it hasn't changed that much because of how much Ethereum has gone up. So even though ETH price has dropped, it's still going to be relative to what it was a couple weeks ago. But I will say that what's different now with Ronin being in play is the ability to buy, try, and then sell if you're not interested. That had a nice ring to it. Buy, try, sell, or buy, try, hold, because it's an amazing game. So we can now list Axies without the high fees before, which we had to deal with. We can adjust the price. If you want to delist and then relist again at a different price, that's no problem. So I would say if you're going to try it out from that perspective, be really smart about your selection. Double check in the Axie Infinity Discord under Arena. Post some Axies you're considering, or if you have questions, ask there. Someone like myself or Indez, we're always trying to help out new players and get you set up nicely so that you can have fun right away and start to know what you're doing in the arena. And also that way, if you need to sell, you bought, good quality Axies that should be easy for you to list and get rid of if it's not for you, if the game isn't something you end up really loving. All right, I think I'm going to end the video there. I'll say again that for the two builds I recommended, I've made a video on both of those and how to play them. I'll link those videos in the description. One is on the Beast Bird combo, the other on the Tri-Spikes and Bug combo. So if you decide to go that route, you can have a little guidance on how to play it. Be smart out there, guys. Be safe. Remember that there's a lot on the horizon in the pipeline with Axie Infinity. There's V2 on the way, land play. So this is all subject to change on some level. Technically, this is still just the alpha of the game. But as you know, there's nice money to be won every season in Arena. I believe my total winnings in the past 2 seasons is like probably $2,500 to $3,000. So yeah, that takes a lot of work to get there, but the future is oh so bright with Axie Infinity, and I'm obviously biased and want everyone to get involved, but definitely don't force it if it's too much of a stretch right now. All right, thanks again for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I cover everything Axie Infinity related here. Follow me on Twitter at ElijahCTG and leave a comment and let me know what you want to see in future videos. You guys are awesome, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.